other things going on. This Epstein thing is, I think that one of their goals is to just get people disinterested, where they just take the L, take the loss. We know there's shit going on, but I mean, Trump, his people, they don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want to talk about it anymore. So what do you think? You're going to get that information? You hear Tucker Carlson going off on it, and Bannon's going off on it, Elon. And you're like, well, so what does this mean? What is this going to do? The more we talk about it, the more info is going to come out. This is another thing that will end up in the dustbin of conspiracies and, plausible deniability, keeping it from being completely verified and confirmed. And that'll just go on and on and on. And we'll still talk about how there were people on Epstein Island, very powerful people in politics in Hollywood, and they were doing terrible things. And there was a list of people. And will we ever know it? Nope. Because who's going to come into office after Trump and his people that would actually go, all right, now I'm the one that's going to expose it? No one. Really no one. Trump was really the only kind of hope, or the only kind of guy that would do that. And even he can't do it. Even Trump can't do it. I got to pull a Kevin Brennan here. Clean my glasses. Yeah, so even he can't do it. It's crazy. That tells you how unbelievably powerful the people that could be implicated in this whole thing are. Whether they're on a list, a genuine list, or there's other evidence that they went to Epstein Island and committed atrocities against women, maybe boys, who the fuck knows. And, it's just they're way too powerful. It's like, it's like anything else that people have to keep secret. Do you think there were UFOs ever, alien life forms that ever landed and got in touch with scientists in this? Maybe. But they all know that it changes everything. It destroys the society we've built. All the things we built our society on gets destroyed if there's some type of alien life. A bunch of religions go down the toilet. Are we the only ones? Now are there people better and stronger and smarter than us? Now we feel like prey instead of the predator. It just would destroy how we function as human beings on Earth. And I think this is the same type of situation in that we can't see so many of the people that were deemed our leaders, influences, Hollywood people, these movie makers, people that have entertained us and inspired us. And then you find out every single one of them was this demonic piece of shit. It kind of fucks up society. Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
And together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining. Little bit. So there's no way that could possibly be allowed to come out, information like that. And Trump seemed to be the guy, I've called him the monkey wrench thrown into the machine of politics, did a lot of good, exposed a lot of bullshit that was going on, but apparently exposing that stuff was exposing shit that they let him expose. There are entities on this planet that are the last word in what the people get to know and get to share in information and are told secrets. There's nothing that some investigative journalist or some internet guy that, knows his shit and could get into things. There's nothing that any one of them can expose if the I don't know what you want to call them, Illuminati. I don't know. If they don't want it exposed, it just isn't ever exposed. That's how tight the controls are on a lot of this shit. And they let a few things get out every so often just to appease the mob, Oh, they're getting a little angry. Let's throw something out there that they'll be like, good. See, we knew the government and this. And then you feel all good. Like, well, if we found that out, there's hope that we could find a lot of things out and maybe we'll learn who's in charge of this and that. No, you're never learning that. I apologize that you have to hear that from the likes of a former radio shock jock. But there's just things that they're happening. I'm not saying they're not happening, but you just aren't allowed to know about it. And it would really fuck shit up if you knew about it. So this Epstein thing, I recall, as do many people, that Pam Bondi put out a statement a while back, not too long ago. It's right there in our memories, very recent memories. Put out a statement that she was looking over the Epstein files. They were on her desk. And by gum, they're going to release them. Bongino, all of them. Bon Jovi, anyone. Bon Scott. They all said, bonbons. They all said it's on the desk. We're looking and we're going to put those out. And oh boy, we don't care whose name is on it. Finally, they're going to pay. And everyone's speculating, oh, the Hollywood must be shaking in their boots right now, knowing that tomorrow it's all over. Politicians in D.C., are they packing their bags? Are they getting on a slow boat to China? Because their reputations and they could be thrown in jail for the crimes they've committed. And then nothing. And then we just got nothing. We got these redacted sheets of stuff we'd seen already. And that was them going, yeah, here it is. And then there was still this unseen parts of the files and the little black book. Remember the little black book from Giselle? What's her name? Giseline? I don't know. Don't care. From her court case with the names in it. Where'd that go? Was that ever a thing? And we just started not hearing much about it. And then very recently, within the past few days, we get the final verdict that there is no list. There is no pedophile island list of names of powerful people that have committed heinous atrocities on young women. And that Jeffrey Epstein absolutely committed suicide. Case closed. And no. How about no? But if you really thought you were going to get, the list, we're all waiting online, and we go, oh, let me see. It's out. Steven Spielberg. Look at this. Steven Spielberg's just been arrested. Oh my God. Rob Reiner pulled a gun on the police while they were trying to arrest him, and they shot him 52 times. Like, did you really expect that? I didn't either. Adam Schiff just jumped off the Capitol building. He jumped out the window with a note pinned to his chest with a dagger. It said, "I'm sorry." It's not ever. Too much monkey wrench thrown into the machine. They won't allow it. Who's they? Yeah. I think a bunch of people, they have their own theys. But, like a Venn diagram, some of their theys cross over and link to the other theys. And there's one common they that I think a lot of people like bringing up. But whoever the they, it ain't going to happen. It just ain't going to happen. So here is Pam Bondi giving some type of excuse I can only liken to a child being caught. You ever see those kids and they got chocolate around their mouth and their parents are recording them and they go, so who ate the chocolate? I did not know. I did. Well, who ate it? A man came in and he ate it. And it's like, it's juvenile. It's adorable because it's such a stupid excuse. Everyone knows that the kid ate the fucking chocolate. Yep. So Pam Bondi sounds like those kids in those videos. They ask her about the Epstein thing. And this is during a press conference for, I think, what were they talking about here initially? Because Trump gets a little peeved that they're bringing this up. Whatever. We'll see it on the Trump clip. But let's listen to Pam Bondi try to stutter her way through an excuse on this Epstein nonsense.
And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. And the minute missing from the video.
So she's talking about the video. The video was released. The surveillance camera on Epstein's door at Rikers Island prison. And there's a 1 minute gap. I think it goes from 11 o'clock at night, 11:59:59 to 12:59 or 12 o'clock and 59 seconds. It's a minute missing. And that explanation was not an explanation. And also, look, I don't profess to be an expert on body language or anything, trying to see if someone's being deceptive. I'm an expert in that I've scrolled a few times. So I'm an expert. But when she's talking and she looks over at Trump, like she's trying to get some type of verification for what she's saying by looking at Trump, like, right? You look at other people and you go, right? Didn't that happen, people? And that's kind of looks a little deceptive, you know? She's explaining a minute gap and saying that every night they use one tape, a tape, and it's from the 90s. And it gets wiped every night? What? How does that? That makes no sense whatsoever. I know I have, household security video. I think anybody in their right mind these days in the world we live in should have various cameras around their house, front door, back door, yard, any access points. And I could pop that up. I could look at last week. I could look at last month. Right here on my phone. But you mean to tell me that they wipe the camera every night at midnight? That's what they do because they need what? More videotape? No hard drives or anything where you could put a shitload of video on there so that if later, maybe not even a death, but later you find out something happened and you would like to investigate that, they could go to that video and say, well, this happened last month, pull up the tape. I have never heard of a security camera in a deli, in a fucking store, that wipes after 24 hours. But I guess we got to believe Pam Bondi that this happened. This is really angering. It's very angering that the supporters of Trump and the Trump administration are being treated like children at this point and told to go to bed and don't talk about it. Do as I say, not as I do, because I said so, because I told you, because like we're not children in that respect. And we deserve a sound explanation. Maybe he did kill himself, but how about coming up with more viable scenarios than Rikers wipes their surveillance video after 24 hours on a guy that is on suicide watch? And you know fuck well that if the things are true that have been said, that people want him dead. And then you have a 1 minute gap in the video because you wipe it every 24 hours. Fuck you. What a goddamn insane excuse. I don't believe it. I don't care who tells that excuse. I don't fucking believe that one. And the fact that it's Trump and Bondi and Lil, what's his name? Lil Marco Rubio sitting there. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I voted for Trump. I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm not going to just blindly say, well, I got to believe it because that was Trump. Fuck that. That's a lie right there, you're saying. That's dishonesty. And, like they say, if someone's being dishonest with you about something, they could be dishonest to you about everything, or at least more than just one thing. If they're not being honest in this, what else aren't they being honest about? And there are plenty of things over the course of the half a year, whatever it's been, during his administration that I'm leery about. I'm not a die-hard, go to the wall and just believe every single thing that comes out of the Trump administration. Not going to do it. And I'm not alone there either. I know there are plenty of MAGA people and Trump supporters that get pissed off at stuff like this because it's so blatantly dishonest and a lie. You might as well be the Biden administration spitting nonsense out like this, towing the company line. Then there's the other side of it. Maybe if we knew who was saying this and what the consequences would be, maybe we'd understand why some of this information doesn't get out to the public. Maybe when shit happens like this, they have a little meet with Trump and they show him the actual assassination attempt, not the kid, the real sniper from the water tower. And it's a camera on his scope and it's right on his head. And then at the last minute, he just puts it on his ear and fires and says something to the effect of, you got one chance. That was your one chance, Mr. President. And then they play that for him and go, yeah, believe me, there's always a scope on your head. You know, there could be things that make people do things. I don't know. So here's Trump now. A reporter obviously wasn't happy with Pam Bondi's excuse. I don't see how anyone could be happy with it. It was terrible. It was juvenile. It was insulting to Trump supporters and to anybody with half a brain that's been watching what's gone on with the Epstein debacle. So here's now Trump covering up.
Yeah, sure. If
Hey, Pam, could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file, along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the
Here, she just talked about the
evidence
video again.
prior
We
to
watched
it
that
was
part
showing
earlier.
committed.
You could cut it off. That just doesn't look good. That looks like deception. It just has a feel of lying. And Trump trying to pull the what? Still talking about him? Who's that guy? What? Epstein? Who? What? The guy from Welcome Back, Kotter that used to bring notes in from his mom that he would write? Who? That has a very, very deceptive feel to that whole conversation with all that. And you're still talking about that guy? Yeah, Donald. Why? Ask yourself why we're still talking about it. Because you talked about him during your campaign. Talked about how the list, the client list is going to be out. All the deception about his suicide, all that was going to be out. You were going to let the American people know everything about it. Up until, again, very recently, we were going to see it. You talked about it. Your administration, Pam Bondi, talked about it. Told us it was on her desk. So if we're still talking about Epstein, it's because of you and your administration. They're the motherfuckers telling us about Epstein and that there is this horrible, deep, dark secret that involves so many people of power in this country. You're going to be amazed. But now we get a lame ass excuse and we're supposed to be like, okay, forget it. Who? Epstein, what? It don't work that way. It works that way with the liberals because they're stupid. They're cult members. They're very easily influenced, and they follow their people like zombies, whatever they say. When that Jean-Pierre White House spokeswoman would come out and say what Biden was doing during his administration, no pushback whatsoever. Maybe the one guy from Fox News, but no, nothing. And the supporters would just be like, yeah, rah, rah, did you hear that? You hear what they said? None of them would go, that sounds like bullshit. Even when they started, some of the Democrats and liberals and media started saying, Joe Biden's slipping. He don't look like he's, and they'd be like, oh, stop it. He's fine, sharp as a tack. Like that's who does that. Dumb liberals. I like to think that conservatives, Republicans, MAGA people, have a little more ability to look at a situation and separate themselves from just this blind political loyalty. And that's why shit like this doesn't wash, because we see it and go, nope, that looks like a lie. And you're going to lose some respect from your supporters by doing that. Let the liberals be the puppets that go with their signs to a protest because some asshole said it's the thing you got to do. And let us be the ones that are a little more discerning and watch Bondi and Trump speak about Epstein and go, no, I am not buying that. I don't think that is, you're being truthful. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how it goes. But from past performance of a lot of things I've seen in the past, nothing happens. Nothing happens. People will just forget about it. You know, like I said, the usual suspects will talk about it. Nick, Alex Jones, Tucker, they'll all talk about it. And, you know, a lot of what they say is probably true. But what does that do? That doesn't get us the information. It looks like the dreaded word cover up. Looks like they're covering up something. And when you do that, people can speculate as far as they want as to who's in charge, why they're lying, who they're protecting. All that stuff now is in the ether for people to speculate on. So good luck. Good luck with all that. So here's Elon Musk got out in front of this whole thing on social media and started talking about the Epstein case. And he had made some accusations during the first Trump-Musk fight from a few weeks back. And he had said that Trump was indeed on this list that now we're told doesn't exist. And he had accused Trump of certain forms of debauchery, things like that. Then when things kind of cooled down, he put out another post that said, things went a little far and I deleted some of my posts and, you know, I didn't mean what I said and whatever. And it seemed like him and Trump had this almost truce going, that the arguing they were doing back and forth wasn't as personal. It was based on the big, beautiful bill. And Elon didn't like the cost of it, the trillions of dollars in debt, and talked about that. But it wasn't so much talking about what assholes each other were. And then Trump put out a post a few days back saying that how Elon had flipped his wheels and gone off the track and was nuts. And I think that pissed Elon off again. And we might be in a little more of a heated battle between the two. So Elon went on the Joe Rogan podcast and dropped a few more accusations and told how he is very skeptical about the official Trump administration line on what happened to Epstein, this supposed list. And I think Rogan is in the same mindset as Musk here. Let's watch.
But yeah, I think the public will be rightly frustrated if no one is prosecuted for the Epstein client list, no one at all. Which, you know, no one, like at least, I don't know, the top 5 or something, like some number. There should at least be an attempted prosecution of the worst offenders.
Well, particularly if Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for sex trafficking.
Yes.
Because, like, trafficking
that means sex
to
trafficking
who?
occurred.
Right. So she's in jail for it.
Yes.
So
who were the clients?
Yeah. Yeah. How do you put someone in jail and you don't even name the clients? That sounds kind of insane.
I think, yes, it would. Yes, because
Just stunning that they've been able to hold it back for so long. It's really kind of amazing.
Yes.
Like when people say that people can't keep secrets, what the fuck are you talking about? Look at this.
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of these things are not like it's common knowledge, but we don't actually have the proof.
Right.
So the proof is there. I mean, there's lots of videos. Yeah, there's lots. I mean, the dude is like a mountain of like whenever they raided Epstein's place, there would have been like a mountain of evidence. Where is that mountain?
Right. What'd you do with it?
Yes. Like who took possession of the evidence?
Yeah.
Specifically.
Right.
The individuals.
Where are the tapes?
Yes.
How many levels?
Yeah, I think that was an earlier video. I'm not sure, but they're talking about it. As far as the list not existing now, that there is no list, it didn't sound like that's what they were talking about. It sounded like they just are keeping the list under wraps, which was the administration's take on it a few weeks back. But some interesting points brought up there. Yeah, the videos. Pam Bondi's saying it's all child porn. That's the only videos that they have, and those will never be released. Well, who else is in those videos? Can you edit them in a way that you can see who the bad people are in those videos and prosecute them? And again, Ghislaine Maxwell being in prison now for what? What's she in prison for? Trafficking. To who? Yeah, you kind of need to be selling these poor girls to people, to someone. There has to be a buyer at the other end. And who are those people? So, like everything else, it just all seems like bullshit now. It just all seems like a cover-up and bullshit, and everyone's involved, and no one will ever, the general public will never hear about it. And Musk was right by saying frustrating. Like it'll be frustrating to the people if there's no convictions of any of these people that were on this list. And now, not only no convictions, there's no list. There never was a list. There was no black book. Nothing. And we're just supposed to go, okay, cool. Who's telling us? Oh, the government? All right. I'll believe the government. They've been so good with telling the truth over the course of the years. So if you enjoyed that clip,
Then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.